In this video, I am going to compare the similarities and differences between the brand new Erin Condren Inspire Vertical and the brand new Erin Condren A5 Wildflowers Daily Duo with their previous versions. So if that sounds interesting to you and you're trying to make a decision on which one is right for you, then please make sure you're subscribed and I'll be right back. Hi, I'm Kristen. I post functional planning videos on my channel 3 times a week, usually in my Erin Condren monthly planner. This video, we're going to go over the new stuff. So these are the new planners available next week. If you're watching this video the day it was posted, these planners go on sale for Erin Condren Insiders on April the 24th and to everyone else on April the 25th. So I have here the Vertical and the A5 Daily Duo. And so what I wanted to do was show you anything that may or may not have changed between the previous version of the Vertical. I have a Colorblends version here. And then I also have a 7x9 Daily Duo in the Colorblends version. So that way we can kind of see, I don't have an A5 version of anything. I only have an A5 notebook. So I can't compare that like apples to apples, but hopefully this will help you decide which size you want to get if you're interested in the Daily Duo. So I'm going to start with the Vertical here. So if you have not seen the full walkthrough, flip through review of this video, I will link it here. That is going to show you like all the details, all the colors and everything that you might want to see for each month and whatnot. This video is more going to be focused on like measuring boxes and stuff like that and just seeing if the layout has changed at all and just, you know, those kinds of details so that you can decide if the Vertical is right for you. So we're gonna open here and actually, I will show you the inside cover of my Daily Duo here because this is the old version of the inside cover on that you may be used to if you already have a life planner. The new covers, this is actually a newer cover and it's refreshed, but the new covers that you're gonna see on the life planners going forward, if you choose one with one of the brand new covers, you're gonna see this updated dashboard version here. And these are writable with the Erin Condren wet erase markers or with like a Sharpie or a permanent marker. With those, you would have to just clean it off with alcohol. So you've got this, it's got like a header and an asterisk, and you've got a line section with some spots to check off your tasks, and then you have 2 blank sections, and you can structure that however you need to. Before it was just a line section here. You did have the header and the asterisk, but it was just a line section. And the back cover has changed where the line section is on the back cover now. It's much larger than you got here. Well, I think it's larger. It seems larger, slightly larger. We can measure it. We have a ruler. Okay, so previously you got a little over 5 inches wide by a little over 7 inches tall. And so now you have 7.5 inches tall by 5.5 inches wide. So they did increase that slightly. The back cover on the old version was very similar to the front cover. It just didn't have the lines. So there are your differences there. Any of the previous versions of the covers, I am not sure how they're doing that, if all of the covers going forward are going to have the new refreshed update, or if, you know, they have an inventory of some that still have this. So I don't know how that's going to work, but only time will tell. So here we go. Let's see. What else can we see? Obviously, one of the new things is this multicolor coil. I always just get the platinum, but this is an upgrade. You will be able to choose from platinum, gold, rose gold, and this multicolor. So that is new, and this is only going to be available on the 7x9, vertical, hourly, and horizontal. You're not going to be able to choose this coil on any of your A5 planners or on your 7x9 daily duo. So just the 7x9 weekly versions of the Life Planner for now. And let's move into the Vellum here. So we still have a nice sheet of vellum, still really thick and nice quality. And you've got, of course, because this is the new Inspire design, it's got the beautiful EttaVee artwork here. And so that nothing really has changed there, and it doesn't look like much has changed on our title page, except we have like colorful versions of the logos here, and this matched the Colorblends color palette more, and then this one's more of your traditional Erin Condren colorway. So next we have our, I don't know what this is called. It's just like the showstopper art spread, I guess. And we have a new quote here. This one says, "The very best plans emerge when just different perspectives meet." And this one says, "A beautiful day begins with a positive mindset." So that's nice that we have a refreshed quote. The tab here is this tab, and all throughout this planner, where the tabs fell, it matched where the color blendy situation was going on. So like that's why the May tab wasn't the peachy color that we're used to seeing. It was a little more pink. So that's how this planner was structured. This one is back to our standard tab colors that match the exact monthly color. So that is a slight change on the colorful. And then we have our 18 months at a glance here. And as usual, we start with July of the current year and go to December. So that has not changed. Everything looks to be about the same size. There's nothing added, there's nothing taken away. And all the fonts are the same. Everything is a Monday start. And yeah, so no changes there. Now we have the 12 boxes page. Right off the bat, the quotes are different. So let me show you here. The previous version has always said for a while now that I can remember, a goal is a dream with a deadline. Now the quote has been refreshed to say, have enough courage to start and enough heart to finish. And honestly, I really like that. I think it's a nice refresh so that it's not specifically goal related, right? So because not everybody is using this for goals. Like everyone has been super like creative with how they're using these 12 boxes. So, you know, taking away that language that might make it specifically for goals can kind of help, you know, not box you in, no pun intended, to using the 12 boxes in this specific way. So what I'm going to do here, because this is the 18-month version that starts in July of 2023, I'm going to flip to July of 2023 in my 12-month vertical here, and we'll just look at the difference. So you can see that we have a different color here up in the top left corner. The tabs are different because the color for the tab fell on wherever the blendy color was on that page. And so that is what is different there. If you had last year's version of the planner, then you will be getting a new quote, which is nice. So we are going to have some refreshed quotes, but it still has the nice Erin Condren fonts that we know and love, and the, like, you know, the elements, the signature asterisk. Okay, so now the monthly spread. Here is how it's different. We still have the month printed in the color assigned to that month. It is slightly smaller. The actual word for the month is slightly smaller than last year, and then the year is bigger than it was last year. And then we have, for the Colorblends version, there was just a little bar at the top of like color blendiness. And here we have no color on the headers on the date strip. I'm gonna measure the boxes and see if they are different. So I'm gonna measure, I need to measure one that has a line. So in the Colorblends version, we're gonna measure July 14th, and that is 1 5/8 wide by 1 3/8 tall. So 1 5/8 wide by 1 3/8 tall. And as a reminder, this is the 7x9 version. And then July 14th here is 1 5/8 wide by 1 3/8 tall. So that is the same. All of these 7x9 monthly spreads are going to be the same sizing. And let's see, so that is the monthly spread. Now let's look at the dashboard and see if anything there has changed. Let me get back to July. Okay, so this looks the same as far as the notes page. On the new version, it's a lined notes page. We have 28 lines, just like in the old version, and I don't think this has changed at all. We have, it is 3/4 of an inch tall for the top margin, and then the line spacing is, they're a 1/4 inch. They are each a 1/4 inch wide. Or tall. So that has not changed at all. And then over here on the actual dashboard side, here's your comparison. Everything is the same as far as the layout of the page. Our grid here, our dot grid, is still a 5mm dot grid. So all of that is going to be the same. You still have all of your elements that we're used to seeing here. And the Colorblends version was pretty neutral, surprisingly, for being Colorblends, and then it just had the bar here of color, where over here we've got the color spilling out into some of these elements. But the change here is that, like, if you had a Harmony Colorful or another version of this planner, or another version of the last year's designs, this is muted. So if you remember that the design down here, it was kind of saturated color to match the whole colorway. In this one, all of your dashboards are going to be muted. It does kind of spill into the coil a little bit. Now let's look at the July of 2023 weekly spread. So as a reminder, this is our new Inspire version. The one with the multicolor coil is the new version, and this is our old version, and it is Colorblends. So we still have the previous month in that month's color. We still have the special days printed at the top right above our day of the week. You still have the shaded boxes at the bottom, and you still have the bars of color to separate your 3 boxes here. It is still doing like a gradient effect, or you have a more saturated color here, and then it just gets a little bit lighter as it goes on. The same way the Colorblends did, although the Colorblends also blended this way. So that's something to keep in mind. The major thing that has changed here is our mini calendar on the new version is now at the top. So previously, the mini calendar was at the bottom left. Now it's at the top left, right under the month name. So it doesn't look like, let's measure, and so I'm not just assuming, but it doesn't look like we are moving up at all, except, so that is a 1/4 of an inch from the top of the little dot of the J, and that is the same for the new version. So this has not moved at all. If you were just covering up the month, that is a 1 inch spacing. And then now the calendar has moved from the bottom to the top. And since it's at the top where it already says the month and the year, they have been able to remove the little month and the year that's down at the bottom. It's still a Sunday start, so that hasn't changed, and I believe it's about the same size. So let's measure that. Right at a little over 1 1/4 inches wide on the new version, and right at a little, like a hair over 1 inch tall on the new version. On the old version, It's the same size for the actual days and the dates. So all of that is the same. It's just that they have been able to take away where it says June 2023. So the mini calendar itself is the same size, the same fonts, the same layout. And now that we don't need to repeat that it's June 2023, they just moved it up to the top, and then we have some spacing here. So I think this is what's going to be important to anyone who's making stickers or planning out how they want to use this spread. We now have about 6 5/8 worth of sidebar below here. So I think what's good here is that it's the same size about as your full box. So that might be a little, so our full box is 1 15/16. So if you are doing a full box to cover this, it's still gonna fit. So I don't think you need to change anything there as far as like the layouts of your sheets, your sticker sheets, or if you already have a whole bunch of stickers in your collection that have like the full box that you would cover this with, that's still gonna work. We have a change here. Let's count how many lines. There's 21 lines on the new version. There were only 20 on the old version. So you're getting an extra line out of this, plus you still have this like blank space here under your calendar that is about 5/8 of an inch. So you have like a really good, there's more space on your sidebar over here, and it's a little bit of a better layout as well. If you were one of those people that always put like a full box up here to cover this, but then you were also covering this, now you can still have the full box up here, but you're gaining a little bit of extra space where you don't necessarily have to cover that. So that, I think you're gaining space here with that. Okay, so I think that's it for the weekly layout. Let's look at that last page and just see. I'm pretty sure that is the same as well. Yep, we have the same line to notes page with the colorful logo that matches the next month's color. And let's look at the back. So this is December 2023. That's when this book ends. So let's go to December 2023 here. The end of December. So we have on the previous version, our week ended here, and then it did not have the color logo here at the top. The reason this one does is because this is an 18-month planner and it goes straight into January, so it keeps with that same pattern of doing that. If you get to the end of December, if you have a 12-month planner, we'll go here and I'll show you. Even though this is 2024, it's the same thing. So it's plain. There's nothing, there's no logos or anything. So now we can compare the notes section. You have 10 lined notes pages, including this and including this. So whenever we say pages, we're talking about one side of the sheet. So if it's sheets, you're counting both sides. If it's pages, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 10 in here, and I believe there were also 10 in here. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then we get our heritage and awareness observances and our keep in touch page. So that's the old Colorblends version, and in this one we have our 10 pages, and here we have a less colorful version of this. So there's no color on the heritage and awareness observances, but you still get that entire 18 months worth. The Let's Keep in Touch page, the layout and the sizing is all the same. There are still 18 boxes. It's just the coloring. There's almost no color on this page. You just have very tiny little dots that have color in them. And then we flip to the forward planning. This planner is going to have 2025 in it, which is just mind-boggling. And then this one has 2024, but nothing has changed there. That the fonts are the same, the size is the same, the spacing is the same, and so nothing has changed there. And then we have the back title page thing. And it used to have a quote on it, and now it's plain, so you can use that in any way you want. I kind of think that this would be a good way to repurpose. You can put some stickers on here and put like trackers or something like that. And don't forget to utilize this page. Like, this is still a functional page. You could use this to hold all your sticky notes, maybe anything you want. And then we still have our 4 sheets of stickers, and that's the same layout. One thing that did change was this page here. So you can see that we still have all the habit trackers and the flags that say rescheduled and today, but the font is different and, in my opinion, better, easier to read. And just stands out on the page a little more. So we've got like a lowercase serif font here, and then on this one we have like a scripty kind of like handwriting, faux calligraphy style brush font or whatever. This one is just better to me. I am not a fan of this, and that's probably why, but this one I like better. Our habit trackers on the Inspire, there's no asterisk and there's no like white box. You just write directly above your little circles here. Okay, and then this is different too. So these were asterisks, and these are just going to be your EttaVee Inspire design, and then the foil is like the circumference of the sticker. And our birthday page, we still have the same amount of everything. Everything is the same except, of course, the styling. You've got a lot more of that Inspire on all of these. And then your last page of stickers, which is the best page, the Colorblends was blendy, and these are back to just being the solid color, which I prefer. These were harder for me to match what I was doing. These are my favorite. I love these. I really want just to be able to get one sheet of those. And then we have our pocket, and what is different here is that previously we had the perpetual calendar that comes with the planner. The previous version was this nice periwinkle color with this very soft rose gold that almost looks champagne. And this one is actually a lighter blue, and I was thinking they were the same, but it looks like they are not. So we have a slight change in like the size of the asterisk there, and but everything looks pretty much the same. The font is just very so slightly different. This one's a little more bold on like your serif font here, just slightly, but it's also just like a hair tinier. We have an updated version of like the fonts here. Your fonts are slightly different, so throughout. This is the new one with the blue, and then the purple is last year's. And it looks like the font on our date numbers are different. And the previous version, we had like dotted lines, and this one we have solid lines. Our passwords and contacts, so again, it is slightly different. New one has more saturated color here, and like a bolder font, no more dotted lines, and then the font choice at the top is different. And then we still have the holidays and dates in the back on the last page. If I could turn the page here. And it's still similar. It still has all of the days you might need. It's just a little update on the fonts and the sizing there. So it's overall the same. It's just got a little bit of a refresh as far as colors and fonts. So that was the Vertical Colorblends, was the older version. It looks like everything is pretty much the same. Your main difference is going to be your calendar has now moved. So those are the big differences. I don't think those are huge differences, but I think we're gaining some benefits with that. I don't see any downside to that. So that was the vertical, and now let's look at the daily duos. So this one's going to be different because I cannot compare to see if any of the sizing has changed, but I can at least tell you what the sizing is, and then you can compare that to your own planner if you already have an A5 and you're trying to decide if you want to stick with it. So I have the January 2023 7x9. Daily Duo here that I did not use. And I guess what we will do is I don't have any matching ones, and so I'm not going to be able to actually compare the specific month, but I don't think that's a big deal. We will go with the January 2024 version. We have Vellum. We have the nice Vellum still in the A5. This one is the Wildflowers version, so it's not going to be colorful in the way that the Colorblends version was. We have a title page, which it's all gray. All the fonts and everything are gray. We have the same 6 boxes, and what has changed here, we have the same have enough courage to start and enough heart to finish quote, but the difference I see here is that last year they put the whole quote on this page, and on this year's version they went ahead and spread it across both sides here. So you have your 6 boxes on this side, and then you can see the difference in the sizing here. So let's do that real quick since I didn't do it. I'm going to lay them on top of each other so you can see the difference between the A5 size and the 7x9 size. Your 7x9 planners with the coil are including like where the tabs stick out. Like if you need to know if you can fit this in your bag, it is 8 1/8 wide. And then you have, let's line this up pretty good. And then you have 9 3/8 tall. So 8 1/8 inch wide and 9 3/8 inches tall for your 7x9 books. And the A5 book is, with the tabs, it is 7 inches wide and 8 3/4 inch tall. Now that's for the whole book. In last year's version of the Daily Duo, you had your 6 boxes on this side and your year or your 6 months at a glance over here with the notes page. That layout is the same, but you can see just like the different sizing here. If you think you need in a couple of extra lines and a little bit wider space, and then your 12 boxes, I think this is still perfectly usable space here. It's not too small. And then you have your your forward planning the following year, all at a glance there, and then your starting tab. So there's your January tab, and here's the monthly spread. So this is where we're gonna measure. So you can go back to look at the monthly spread sizing that I did a few minutes ago to see the sizing for there. And then the A5 sizing is obviously smaller. So I'm going to go ahead and measure this Friday the 19th of January, and it is 1 1/4 wide by 1 let's see, it's like a hair under 1 5/8. So you can see there just like the difference in the sizing of that monthly spread. If you already have 7x9 stickers, they're not going to fit in this. So that is another something else to consider. This does come with stickers in the back that are sized to fit, but we'll get there when we get there. So now onto the dashboard spread. And it's just the same layout, it's just a more petite version of it. I believe this is still a 5mm grid. Yeah, so that's still going to be a 5mm dot grid. We still have the 28 lines on the notes page, and then the header spacing on the A5 is 5/8. So there's the difference in the sizing of your dashboard. I think that's still a lot of usable space. And then you have your daily pages, and let's look at that. So I'm going to flip to a Monday in this one. in last year's version in the 7x9. So we have the Monday and the Tuesday, and here's our Monday and Tuesday for this one. So this is your different sizing between the A5 and the 7x9. Your columns in your A5 are gonna be, I think they're 3 1/4 inches, if I'm remembering correctly from using this. It's 3 1/8 of an inch from the end, from line edge to edge of the lines there. As far as I know, none of the sizing of any of this has changed. So there's your difference, and we still have the mini calendar. The mini calendar in the A5 is even minier, and maybe that's why everybody complains so much. A lot of people use the A5 Daily Duo, and they just endlessly complain about the mini calendar. I never understood that, but looking at it now, that is really tiny. It's still usable and seeable, so I don't know. It's not, can you tell that I am not on the team of people that want to get rid of the mini calendar? But let's see. So we still have 13 to-do items on both sizes. Your bottom box here on the 7x9 is 3 1/4 by like right about 3. The bottom box on the A5 is like 2 1/2 by like 2 3/4, I guess. That would work. It's not going to go edge to edge with those measurements, but if you already have A5 stickers, it's the same. Okay, so we still have all of our days the same way, and we still have the last year's new addition to the Daily Duo was this lined notes page after Sunday, and we still have that in the new version. So there's that, and then at the end, once you get through all of your days, at the end, you have a notes page in the A5. Let's see, do we have that in? Yes, we have that in the 7x9. So we're at the end of the days, and then you have a notes page that says notes on it, and it also says notes on it on this one, and then you have like a half page of lines, and then the heritage and awareness observances that go with this specific set of dates. My planner, my pages here are curling. I must have been being rough with this earlier. I am sorry, little planner. I will take better care of you. Okay, and then you turn the page, and we have this really beautiful watercolors back page. There's no quote on the page like there was previously, but we do have our stickers. I don't know the difference here because I have never had an A5 Daily Duo, but the 7x9 last year had the same 4 sheets of stickers that the weekly life planners got in the back of both of them. And on the A5, there are 2 sheets of stickers. They're both the same in both of the halves of the year. They are sized to fit your monthly spread, and then there's some regular size ones here as well. But most of these are sized to fit your monthly spread. And you still have your pocket in the back. And let's look at this one. This one is a solid one, and the logo is just printed in white on both sides, where last year we had that metallic imprint here. We had the asterisk on one side and then the Erin Condren logo on the other. And then we have our refreshed cover. So there you go. Those were the differences between our Daily Duos, the A5 versus the 7x9. Then we had the differences between the 2 verticals, last year's Colorblends versus this year's Inspire. So I do not know exactly what questions you might have as far as spacing, but I am definitely going to be around to answer those questions. So ask in the comments, and I can get you a measurement of whatever specific thing you want to have measured. like I said, I don't have one of those digital measure tool thingies. I just have a ruler. So keep that in mind, that it might not be super accurate. So don't base your whole business plan on it or anything. But that is it for this video. Remember to go watch the reviews of these for a much more in-depth look at both of these planners, and also all of the accessories. If you're watching this the day it goes live or anytime before April 24th, just remember that launch for Erin Condren Insiders is April 24th. If you're not an insider, it's April 25th. I do have a referral link in the description so that you can sign up to be an insider and earn points and get $10 off, and to get all the perks that come with being an insider. I cannot link these specific products quite yet. What I'm going to do, because this video is going up before the products are live on the site, I am just going to go ahead and link where they generally fall on the site, the Life Planner page on the Erin Condren website. And then as the products go live, within reason, I'm going to go ahead and create the links for the Vertical Inspire and the A5 Wildflowers Daily Duo, so that you can get to these specifically. I am an affiliate, so that means that if you use my link and then you make a purchase, I do get a commission for that. I also received these planners, not these, let's move those, I paid for those. I received these planners, and anything that you have seen in my coverage of the Erin Condren 2023-2024 launch, I received all those gifted from Erin Condren so that I could provide these videos for you before the launch date. Every other Erin Condren product you've ever seen on my videos has all been paid for with my own money. I don't typically opt into the boxes of product. I prefer to just purchase with my own money. The only way I could get these to do these videos ahead of time for you was to opt into the box of free goodies. Anyhow, that's it from me. I hope you liked this video. Like I said, remember to ask any questions in the comments and I will get back to you as soon as humanly possible. Also, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye.